Hello, everybody. It is Sunday. It is the 1st of March, which is crazy. Time flies. This is Raven Maddock of Khrysalis Studios, and I am exhausted. So if I seem off, I am very, very tired. We're going to go over NaMoPaiMo and how I failed at NaMoPaiMo, and how I at least deal with some of that stuff. And I'll show you some of the things that I did as well as my NaMoPaiMo pony, which is kind of funny. You get like the side projects, and I'll cover what I didn't manage to cover from last week because we had an emergency move for a friend of Briarfesty stuff and some of what's going on in the studio. And then I have to go take care of my pony who is in pony jail because he had sore feet, and then we put boots on. I wasn't able to make it out because we've had some snowstorms and stuff that block the roads kind of bad, and it's not great driving conditions, and the boot ripped through his foot. So now we are in a stall inside dealing with sore pony feet, and I have to go buy shavings and go clean his stall and go check his wounds and clean him out. So yeah, it was a long day yesterday. We'll just put it that way. So I will get to it. Let us do the thing. Starting with that. All right. So on the Briar front, they had a couple of releases since the last time, and we will go over what that looks like. There was the Best of Briarfest. These are the stablemate sets that normally go with they do volunteer horses or previous horses that have happened in auctions or whatever from previous Briarfests and make it mini, which is super cute. So we have the Best of Briarfest, of course. Continuing the fun series of stablemates is our 7th in the series, and we've shrunk down the coveted prize models from the 2008 Briarfest Global Gala. This limited edition Best of Briarfest set is available. Let me just make this smaller so I can actually see what's going on. Is available whether you're joining in person or online. So the first one is the WAG Extended Trot Dressage Pony. This is Anderstorp, which is located in Sweden. It is known famously as a Formula One racetrack, and it has been done on Jane Langer's Hanoverian mold. I don't know that they have specifically mentioned the sculptors of the G3s very often, so that's kind of cool. This model is inspired by Monaco, the 2008 model horse or open model horse show overall champion prize model. City also famously known for its F1 ties. It's interesting that they would go F1. I really like this one. This is the Faroe, a grouping of rugged islands located. Let's see. I'll make these bigger for you guys. Ta-da! Oh, now it's all out of whack for sizing. Make it smaller. Bigger, smaller. I don't know that. Now it's going to cut. Why does it cut off the text? That makes no sense. Anyway, maybe there we go. All right. So the rugged islands located in the North Atlantic between Iceland and Norway. It has been done on Maggie Jenner Bennett's mold 5731. This adorable model is inspired by that year's early bird raffle prize model, which they don't do anymore, called Capri, which is named after an island off the coast of Italy. So a really pretty Palomino. Looks like with a star and a snip. Cute little toes. I like that color. And then we have a kit in a red bay Overo. And this one's Starna. Okay, which is Swedish for star. I was going to say it sounds like star. And then it's done on Josine Vingerling's mold 5755, which is a miniature version of the 2008 Festival of Champions contest prize model called Sarin, which is the Welsh word for star. Very interesting naming structures. Very pretty color on this one too. So Kataga, maybe, which is a sea that separates Denmark from from southern Sweden, which has been done on Laura Circular Sailorn's mold. 5739, which is an adorable mini version inspired by the 2008 Open Model Horse Show Reserve Championship Prize, Calabria, which was southernmost region in Italy. Very cute. So nice Garula Tobiano with some silkies and some white in the tail. I like the white at the tail tip. This one's kind of cool. So it's like a pearly, almost decorator feel. It's stavel, which is the word for boots in several Nordic languages. It's been done on Chris Hess's iconic Indian pony mold, obviously the shrunk version. 5751 model is inspired by the 2008 volunteer model Totsi, which is Hopi for moccasins. So they kind of ran with the names and made them more Norwegian, Scandinavian, which is kind of cool. This is a very pearly gloss finish. Even the bay looks pearly. It's a very interesting color combination. I wonder if Totsi looked like that. Let's see. Tippity tap. Doo, 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 doo. Yeah. It did. Let me just load it up and then I can show you guys. I'm running on coffee and sculpting. This is my life. All right. So yeah, it was a very, very similar color. This is the volunteer model. And you can see it's kind of got, that was more like chalky matte, maybe? Doesn't look like it was as pearly, but it has a weird feel to the color. And maybe that's just the texture, but it looks like the other one is glossy as well and then has the pearls in it, which is kind of an interesting choice. Very pretty still. We have next up. Dun, 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 dun. They were showing a sneak peek, which ended up being the online-only stablemate. I don't know why that went back to not the thing. So it's saying, have a cozy weekend. We are still in the throes of winter here in the northeast at headquarters, with several inches of snow on the ground and temperatures barely making it above the freezing mark for weeks. Maybe we manifested this smidge with our Scandinavian-inspired Briarfest. Who knows? But we definitely are starting to get the midsummer, or get why midsummer is such a celebration after a winter like this. To combat the long, cold winters, the Danes turned to Huga. That's awesome. Which is the genius cultural concept centered around finding contentment in coziness, connection, and a warm atmosphere. I was going to say stratosphere. We've been watching Lost in Space. It's kind of funny. These moments can come from the simplicity of baking something that you love, sitting by the fire with friends, or everything in between. And it's all about the moments that make you feel, or how those moments make you feel. So super cute. This is an Icelandic, which is very typical for this theme, in a very cute little, I don't think it's done. I think it's chestnut. Is it? You would tell us. Red done. Ha ha ha. Tobiano Pinto. I was going to say it looks a little off for a chestnut. Very cute. They don't use this mold very often, so that's kind of cool to see it pop up. Saying, to pay homage to this beautiful cultural tradition, we are pleased to introduce our fans to this year's adorable online limited edition stablemates model Huga, done on Jane Langer's Icelandic stablemate mold. For whatever reason, I thought it was Moody. So that's kind of cool. That's neat that they're naming Jane. As a handsome red done Tobiano Pinto, this little cutie will be available to all Briarfest ticket holders, but will only be available for purchase Briarfest weekend online through their website. This model will not be available to purchase in person at Briarfest in Lexington. Have a great weekend, readers. Let us know what your favorite Huga-inspired activity. It's kind of funny. You're like baking, you're like, Huga. So super cute. Here's another close-up of the cutie pie. If you haven't purchased your tickets and you would like to add Hygge to your collection, you have a button you can click there. Then we had volunteer applications. So this is round 2 of their volunteer applications. This is for all the other positions other than like workshops and stuff. So if you wanted to generally volunteer to ferry people or be the like, go this way, go that way, can I see your ticket kind of person, that is where you go to do that. And they gave us a sneak peek, and this was for the online traditional model, which this thing I flipped over. It is so cute. Look at its eyeballs. The color is adorable. It reminds me of Kingfisher, which is another color I really, really like. And the little blue eye it suits him so much. So it said, did you guess? Probably one of the more commonly known Scandinavian phrases in the United States is "ufta," which is of Norwegian origin and typically meant to express dismay. However, as the language traveled with immigrants from Europe to the United States in the 19th century, Scandinavian Americans living in the Midwest, New England, and North Pacific evolved its meaning to also express other emotions. They're like, we're just gonna flavor it with our own stuff. Similar to how the Yiddish phrase of oy vey, and then the linguistically Norwegian op, have evolved in our vernacular over the decades, ufta also evolved to express surprise, frustration, astonishment, relief, regret, and more. A bit of a catchy catch-all for a variety of feelings. So very cute on the Llewellyn mold. That's Eva Rossiter's sculpture. Super cute. I definitely need this guy because I don't have one of that mold yet. I was gonna get Riptide, and it hasn't worked out up to this point, and this thing's super cute, so this might be my adopted little cob. So for this year's online exclusive traditional limited edition model, we are excited to introduce fans to ufta. We know we'll have you saying ufta in surprise when you open him up. Done on the Cantering Welsh cob, mold number 826, sculpted by Eva Rossiter. Stunning blue roan Tovero Pinto ufta can only be purchased online, but is available to all ticket holders during Brierfest weekend. They may sell out, so make sure you log on early to buy yours. So it's saying deadline, blah, 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 blah. Wait, I should read that. Get your Brierfest tickets here. The deadline to have one of this year's Nordic Nations event stablemates model included with your all access ticket package is Friday the 20th. Well, that passed already. What? The event stablemates are only available until the 27th? I did not know that. And too late now. I missed it. That's okay. I didn't like the stablemates anyways. So yeah, that's what Briar has for news. They did put up a... Oh, and they said Kiss Me Kate's going to be there in person, which would be kind of cool. Those were the event stablemates. Tickets, all access tickets purchased now will no longer include one of the year's stablemate models. That's interesting. But the price will remain the same. All access ticket holders. Oh no, I didn't know that they were including a stablemate in the, damn it. Huh. This is what I've been reading these the whole time, and I didn't realize that your all access normal pass would get you a little one too. Well, poop. I didn't buy my ticket. So there's that. Anyway. And I like how it was, they were reminded us on the 26th and the deadline was the 27th. And yeah, that's new. And they didn't clearly advertise that. But anyway, Kiss Me Kate will be there in person. Super cute. If you want really cool reference photos of a really pretty pony, then she will be there with all of her feathery flurry. And then they put out their Easter pony, come here, which is super cute. This is a really cute idea. So it is a little chocolate pony in plushie, which is cute. Done up kind of like the bunnies, with the little ribbon, and she's even got a bunny on her butt. I think that's a really cute idea. So that is available for Easter, starting right now. You can put it in your cart this very moment, even gift wrapped it if you want. So that's been Briar's updates. Now I guess we go here. And like now I'm ruminating. I thought the Django would be really cute. I probably would have, because I was buying a ticket anyways, would have done it had I known. But yeah, anyway. Well, now I'm just grumpy at myself. All right. On that note, I'm going to say hi to a couple people in the stream because you guys are awesome and you're here in the chat. We have Julie. Hi. We have Amy. Good morning, Amy. Kim. Hello. Katie. Oh no, I know. Turbo and his feet. It's actually not decidedly not awesome. I'll have to check the extent of it. We called the vet yesterday, and this kind of counts as studio updates, right? We called the vet yesterday, and they said to clean it up, leave him inside since it's been snowy and wet and it's about to get really gross. Don't look if you are squeamish because it's not bloody, but it definitely went right through. He ripped off all the hair on the heels and then rubbed right there through a couple of layers. That's still kind of dirty. I cleaned it up afterwards, but yeah, the vet said to leave it for the time being, and then we'll kind of see where we end up. Rubbed through the top of the coronet band too, which is super awesome. I'm hoping that the hole in the back of the foot doesn't interrupt hoof growth, but we will find out. He's currently in there with a really cute little mini named Moose, who Nash is bigger than, which is kind of funny. Let's see. I have a picture. Here's the Turbo's in jail. He's all sad. Sad Turbo's in the jail. And I don't think he's ever spent a night inside in a stall before. So it was an experience. But he has a buddy. His buddy helped keep him company. Let's see, where is Moosey Moose? There's Moosey Moose with his tiny little blanket with all the little ponies on it. He's also a chestnut. He's having some founder-related challenges, a little bit of rotation. So they are inside, hanging out on shavings, being fed, and taken care of. So yay. If you could send some healing thoughts Turbo's way, I would appreciate it. But yeah, he's a very sad pony right now. Jess, morning. Oh, I want to be... Oh, I so want the best of Briarfest models. They're so cute. And yeah, they've got a really good lineup. Pam, happy Sunday. Karen, good morning. Abby, hello, good morning. Momo, hi. Marty, we have Marty, hello. Karen says, I failed NaMoPaiMo 2026 too. There are many pony irons in the fire. I'm going to show you all the pony irons I have in the fire in a second. It's kind of funny. Karen says the Icelandic is adorable. It is pretty cute. I really like that mold. And it's cool that they actually told us the sculptor because I don't know that they've been super public about those ones in the past, but they're trying to get better, I think, about sharing the names of the sculptors, which is really nice. As sculptors, we generally appreciate it, unless it's one we just kind of want to disappear into the abyss, in which case sometimes it's nice to not be associated with them, but that doesn't happen as often as wanting to be given credit. Katie, I'm shafted this Briarfest. A lot of models at Conga. Oh no, it's always hard. Karen says I miss the stablemates too. Pam says, oh, I love that mold. Krista, hello, welcome. Amy, love the chocolate pony. Had to get one. Oh, you'll have to let us know what it's like in person. They should have made it like, I know it probably is more chocolatey in matte, but like extra fluffy. I don't know. It wouldn't have been chocolate if it was extra fluffy, but I just like extra fluffy. Amy, if I get 2 Djangos, you can have one. I would love that. I definitely will be on the hunt for the little blue guy because I have a little, well, I've probably got about 10 of the Djangos in a conga. Stablemates are easier to conga for shelf space. Not this full conga, just kind of a loosey-goosey one. I don't have the one from the India Briarfest, the Clearware one that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. And there's a couple I'm missing. I don't have the pink variation of the one deco-y one that they had. Stuff like that. Bogey. It's variation. Don't have that one. But I have normal bogey. Let me see, Andrea. Happy Sunday. Welcome. Katie, I feel like the show at the Alltech Arena should be optional to cut pricing. Never gone to it, and to me, it's a waste of money. Yeah, for some people, it's nice for the people that show that it's included in the price, but at the same time, if you don't show, then it's and you can't even really go look around, I don't think, in the same way. I don't know. And it's not that close. But anyway, most normal shows you'd pay your entry fee to participate in said show. But I can't imagine that the Alltech Arena is cheap to rent. So I don't know that they would be able to have the show if not for having it included in the ticket price. And then it maybe encourages people to do the show. But anyway, thank you guys for sending love for the poor Turbo Boy. I was very sad. I'm a little puffy because I was crying yesterday. I'm like, my pony's hurt. Can you come help? Oh, I'm like teary already. But the vet was awesome. So she said to update her today and we'll see how he does. He's got some Previcox on board, so that should help. He is also being fed very well and being like kept company. He'll have lots of visitors in the barn today because there'll be lots of comings and going. It's a weekend. So he'll probably stay in there till Monday or Tuesday. They haven't with the mini sculptors. Yeah, it's not as common for whatever reason. It smells like chocolate. Does it smell like chocolate? Is it a scented plushie? Now I have to ask. Briar? That would make up for not being fuzzy if it was scented. But that also might be weird. Let me see. Easter plushie. Meat candy, pretty chocolate ponies ready to be the star of your Easter basket. Brown beauty, all smiles, sporting pink ribbon, pink embroidered bunny on her hindquarter. Does not say she smells. It says this is not an Aurora plush. Quantities are limited, and she does have beanies in the bottom of her hooves. So no chocolate scent, but you could with chocolate essence if you wanted to. Let's see. Oh, I meant the evening show. They don't have the evening show anymore. So, at least not this year. But the ticket price went up. Anyway, I'm going to get in trouble. Turbo was sore in his feet. The mini foundered and a couple of other horses are having some problems. So, I don't know if it's sugar quantity in the food. They did change their hay supplier. So, I don't know. A couple of the horses were sensitive, so I had booties on his front feet, and the boots rubbed him raw because it also got wet, and then they got wet, and it must have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. So anyway, they should make a chocolate-themed model and have it smell like chocolate like they did with the stink bears. That would be awesome. You should send them a thing. Because they did Ganache the one year, and he was very chocolatey colored, but you could do chocolate. Could you imagine if all your horses smelled like chocolate? Might be bad. I'd just be hungry all the time because it would be you go in your model room and it would just smell like chocolate. Oh, anyway. All right. Studio stuff. We have this sticker for the club going out right away here. I should have it in the next couple of days. Let me see if I have it in my thingy. Where is it? Sticky, sticky, sticky. I should have it somewhere. We did the Flat Out Fabulous entries as well. So I'll show you those in a second. I was queued up for a different thing. So let me just switch gears here for half a moment. There was an extra club hiring out because I have zero sense of what day or time it is, apparently, and that that's my life lately. This is the sticker. I will make her bigger for you. So this is a unicorn playing with some of the backlighting ideas of having room lighting, being lit from kind of above and behind. Some of the translucency in the hair there came out really, really cool. Playing with that idea of the palomino and light shining through. There's even green kind of tones in there, some blues and oranges and yellows. Really, really cool stuff. I based the horn off a narwhal horn, which is kind of fun. little loosely. And then this really glowing purple eye. So I wanted to play with light a lot with this one. And I should have those here very soon to show you guys in person, which will be quite fun. We did here's a peeky of what I'm working on in the background. So I haven't shown you a lot of this particular one. This is probably going to be the next release that comes out. Kind of jumped to the front of the line a little bit. Some of you have been asking if it's the Icelandic. It is not the Icelandic. It is something else that is fuzzy and very expressive. This is the same face nose that I posted the picture of before. There's another view of that light. Let me show you. There's a lot of Flat Out Fabulous there. I was showing a whole bunch of stuff on the different color patterns you can get in the bottom of the foot. It was brought up that sometimes the pigmentation or lack thereof can be from scar tissue as well, which is kind of interesting. And generally speaking, you get this dark rim on the outside, a lighter rim on the inside if they're clean. Obviously, when hooves are a little bit more dirty, that lighter line on the inside does not look light. Just like the frog, it is a very easily stainable, more rubbery-like material, so it absorbs dirt quite quickly. How far back do I have to go for the nose? Not that nose. This one. So same nose. So he's got quite an expression going, which is kind of fun. Let us do Flat Out Fabulous. And then we can show you some other stuff. Pardon my zipping around onto things. So we had the Rising Star category with... Oh, it doesn't want to show the thing very well. There we go. Rising Star had 2 entries in it, which was this one and this one. This was our champion, and this was our reserve. And 4. I'm going to show you guys the results after. Open category, we had a lot more entries. I will adjust sizing again. Or just make that bigger. Come on, picture. I don't know why my windows are being so weird today. Why it doesn't want to show up on my screen. That made it worse. That made it worse. All right, we're just having a moment where the screen doesn't want to screen. Apparently. And it won't let me change over here. It must be Restream's issue. All right, well, I'll show you the best I can, which is kind of frustrating, but that's okay. We have some really cool entries. There was a lot of Fighty Bitey Boys. There was a lot of Tender Moments, which is this pair. There's some more Fighty Bitey Boys. Now I'm gone. What the heck? I don't even know anymore. Maybe if I do it that way, you can see the whole thing, though. Hold on. That's still like, yeah, that's a little better. No. I love technology. This is fantastic that it decides it. There we go. Doesn't want to do the thing. More Fighty Bitey Boys. And I'll be uploading all the artist information onto the albums, and then you can see what is there. This is the Drama Club with the llama and the donkey. There's a whole bunch of those. Tender Moments again. Super cute. This one's Sherlock and Moriarty. They were sculpted to be a pair, so that's kind of cool to see them together. We have Wonder, which was the mare in full, which is super cute. This was our reserve champion. This is another Tender Moments. The older mare with the younger daughter was what it was sculpted as. This is kind of cool. You have the little, let's see if I can make it bigger, little spicy mini fighting the dragon. I like it. Another Wonder. Very nice. This was our champion. This is the Fighty Bitey Boys again. So Dust Devils was their original name, and then they ended up just sticking with Fighty Bitey Boys. This was my host pick for Open, which kind of shows the dynamic and duality of the decorator versus the realistic within the model horse hobby. I quite like that play. It was a little bit more of a creative take. Kind of cool. How do I make the thing go? That was the last one, I think. All right. So I will show you the video. If you go to posts again, scroll it down. Hopefully this won't be too loud. Where are the winners? Did they not post properly? I thought they did. Oh my goodness. Why is my computer having... I can't even scroll sideways. I can't get over there. Okay, there we go. Good thing I have a touch screen. Let's see. Those were our entrants. That was for voting time. So we'll do this since we're there. I was having some issues with some paint separation, so I'll fix that on him. He is not done yet. We'll talk about that in a second. I still have a couple of orphans of both of those guys if you are interested. He's getting his Rabicano ticking, which is kind of nice. I played with some oil markings. Why did it... Oh, did it not post properly? I love technology. It's fantastic. Give me 1 second and I'll see if I can fix that. My computer has been having moments lately. Maybe it was just under Reels. Ha ha ha, of course it's under Reels. Okay, let me go back here. I love how Facebook puts some things in some places and some things in others, and it's just not predictable at all. Let me make that to a size that will work. That'll work good enough, I guess, for our purposes. Haha! All right. So Luke and Sophia are the reserve championships. That's Jill Webb for our Rising Star division. And then Starbert and Ernie, owned and painted by Lisa Lippert, were the champions of that particular division. And then Quietude, Cambria, and Nova Mist, laced in gold. The longest name we've had so far was our reserve champion, painted by Chrissy Penny or Chrissy Gorham. At the bottom, that's the Wonder Medallion. And then Kihi Atlano by Sarah Jackson, owned and painted by. These ones are really cool. There's a really nice tones going on in that chestnut there. Super fun. And then Host Choice, which is magic, was Battle of the Art, owned by Sasha Ferris and painted by Sasha Ferris. And then Starbert and Ernie for the Rising Star category by owned and painted Kihi, might be Kihi, painted by Lisa Lippert. So super fun. Let's see. You guys are... thanks for finding out the chocolate. I would not leave the room if it smelled like Nita Reese's now, says Karen. Missed the hangout. I'm sorry. We had a whole bunch. There is, I think, 5 for February. So I'll be announcing them ones for March soon. Kim asks, mule or donkey? I can tell you it is furry. And it does have... Wait. That's all I can tell you for now. Karen says this is a new sculpture. It is indeed a new sculpture. Donkey getting his bum scrubbed. Love it. Just itchy. We have itchy, scratchy sculpt with fluff, says Karen. Sarah says maybe. You don't know how you pronounce it? Okay. If you don't know, then I feel better. Katie, love the music that you picked for this. It feels like jazz time. I liked it. I have Canva, so I have access to whatever music and stuff they have in the background, and it feels very like it's supposed to be red carpety. You're like, but jazz era red carpety. So kind of fun. Next theme for next March is delighted this March, not next. Wow, okay. Having a brain. The theme for this month, technically entries open today. I will be emailing hopefully soon. I have to do a few things before I can do that. Is Delighted by Details, which is focusing on hair by hair details, which is kind of funny given what I've been working on for NaMoPaiMo. So that I failed at all of them, but that's okay. It's just NaMoPaiMo. Nobody dies. Delighted by Details is meant to be our first artist challenge, which is kind of an artist spotlight. If you have a piece that has a whole bunch of hair by hair detailing on it, you're more than welcome to show it and enter it in this contest. It doesn't have to be done specifically for the challenge. You have from the 1st till the 20th to enter whatever you're entering. It can be newly painted. It can be something that's been sitting on your shelf. It can be something that you just purchased. Whatever works. We are open as long as it is on a Khrysalis Studios sculpted piece. There are more than a few medallions I've done out there, so that should give you lots of options if you wanted to paint something new and have 20 days to do it, like mini NaMoPaiMo, but a medallion, so it's faster. Should technically be twice as quick, so you should be able to get it done in the 20 days, technically. So I'll just put that out there. But yeah, focusing on hair by hair details, so anything that has hair by hair work to it, whether that's in a Appaloosa, a roan, a pinto, even in normal markings if you wanted to do hair by hair detailing and focus on that. So, oh, did I leave them upstairs? I did. Now I'm sad. The hair by hair detailing that I'm doing on the Loxley medallion, I'll show you a picture here because I can. He's got hair by hair detailing in the Sabino marking on his throat, as well as in his blaze. So that's all acrylic. It is actually quite gray in person, but I'm putting it down to get the values first, and then I'll tint with washes or glazes, I guess, over top to get the color that I'm looking for. And there'll probably be a few more layers of white going on top of it. Just kind of like this guy. This was in oils. You saw the photos of kind of how that worked. These are more muted, kind of creamy brown white markings for now. I'll probably go over it in some brighter whites, but I wanted to lay the groundwork and then I'll build on top of that. So you can see it is quite, it's not like the blindingly white that you see sometimes. And he does have the detailing on the face. It is dry. I added a little bit of my walnut alkyd to it to allow for the paint to speed up a little bit. And walnut is less yellowing than linseed oil, so I'm trying to stay away from linseed oil as much as I can for the whites, just to prevent any yellowing and stuff that might happen. But love the Sabino you're working on. Thank you. Question. Namo Hunger Games. Oh, it's Hawaiian, so maybe. Can members buy another of the newest medallion, the donkey with the basket and the flowers? Yes, I sent an email out with a link for that. And if you go to the members page, then you can access that, or just email me and I can get you set up. You can definitely adopt another one if you would like. The draft medallion is which one? That's Loxley. So that was from quite a while back. Let's see if I got a full picture of him somewhere. That's him with his Sabino markings. Mr. Loxley boy. I'll probably change the background coloration a little bit, but I took him. I did the face shading workshop that's up for members, and that was for Briarfest a while back. And I did a wash of a little bit more red over top, and then now I'm adding the Sabino markings, so it should be fun. Brenda, good morning. Hello. And we have Kusuri91. Hi. From YouTube. Let's see. Not sure if I have a Loxley. Yeah, it was an older one. I think before you joined the club, so quite a few years back. We've been doing the club for 7 or 8 years now, which is crazy. So yeah, and then there was a braided version that was the anniversary medallion called Tux, also quite a while back. Kim says, I decided to do the drawl challenge. We'll see how this goes. Never mind painting. Inserts chaos. You can always move on to that if you want. So they are doing the doll challenge. That's the one where you match the saddle pad to and make a doll based on the saddle pad you're sent. So it's kind of cool. Oh, it's Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. Speaking of hair by hair, so that was acrylic on the Loxley. It is oil hair by hair detailing on the Noki. And then this is pencil hair detailing on the Aura. So it's kind of fun to see what different techniques get you what kind of looks. This one's for a friend that really liked the Nela that I did, the Ahaltaka, I guess. So that'll be kind of fun to get her that very shortly here. But I didn't succeed at NaMoPaiMo. This is kind of a studio update and a rant, but I did succeed in doing some other things. So I've got some layers on this guy. This is the Gabriel resin. I had to do a patch on his shoulder. So you can see I've filled it in there, and I just have to put primer on and then put paint back on. He has a little bit of shading going on in the face already. There was a couple of those that were painted for Namo. Lynn Castles Caldwell painted one. And I saw another one pop up that was really pretty too. It's just, I love seeing ponies with color. The Perlino also got started because I couldn't help but throw paint on stuff. I guess I can put this guy away here. Give me 1 second. Then I will end my screen sharing for now. That is the Perlino on the fan favorites as Xavier. I like how his nose looks huge there. He's got a little bit of shading, so that's basically just the first layer. I did go over him with a magic sponge, since this is very lightly abrasive, just to kind of smooth things out a little bit. You can basically just kind of, makes a horrible sound too, if you like that sound. But he's got that metallic pearly color to him, so I got to go in and do some of the shading in there, touch up some things. There's some colors I want to play with a little bit, and then finish him up. I have, this one was base coated, so then I went over it in oils using the Bay mix with a couple of tweaks to give me a more chestnutty, red chestnutty kind of color, and then going over it in the Tobiano acrylic. I'll probably do it kind of hair by hair a little bit, maybe more just around the edges. We'll see how it goes. I was struggling with him with getting things smooth because when I originally did the first coat, I wasn't being as thin with the oils, which is fine. That's the Kiss Arabian in a black that I started. So I did start a lot of things. You can see kind of in the flank and the top line, there are some browns. There's a little bit of interference color in there too. I did paint in some of the highlights in here and in here, but the light is also, let's see if I can hide that. It's hard to see what's reflection from the light and what's actually painted on there, which is kind of also cool. But I wanted to play with black. As I was doing Heather's class, I was not able to 100% work on the jug life at all times, so I was starting other things. I did base coat this guy. That's the Shakana that I broke the leg on. He is better as I wobble him. Added the veins back, so I just got to do the primer, and then I can start on his rose gray color. This one's actually for me, which doesn't happen basically ever. Oh, and I did fix his little ear with baking soda and super glue. I started Kinsey's medallion, as it's all like covered in goo. Wasn't sure if I wanted to go chestnut or bay. Playing with some colors, some ideas. Might do like a bay Appaloosa, leopard Appaloosa was kind of how it was leading me, so we'll see. And then this guy, as I hopefully don't drop him. That is the actual model that I did for the Bay workshop with Heather. So you can see he's quite golden bay with a darker tone. I put in dioxazine purple instead of the purple lake. Needs some more refinement to his face. He's got some interference blues and purples to reflect the light a little bit. He's super fun. There's like a stand-in oil eyeball that I popped in there. I gave him a little star that's got some hair by hair detailing. This light is not cooperative. He does have his Rabicano tail with some Rabicano hairs on his butt. And then the white hairs from the Rabicano kind of trailing down. Just kind of fun. In the flank, he also has some hair by hair Rabicano ticking. And then what I bleeped out in the work in progress picture that I posted, because it was basically just junk. Look, junk. But lots and lots of little details in where all those hair goes, and there's lots of swirls and things in there, which is kind of fun to do. So I figured it's another little detail. I wasn't sure if I was going to add it, but I went a little further with the Rabicano on the tail than I was going to originally. So I figured he would probably show up with more of that color in there. So I still have to go back, refine the color a little bit, add back in the dapples where I did the repairs to the top color, but I'm really liking how he's turning out. And I really like Heather's more like the way I was taught to do oils was a little bit thicker. Heather operates more like a pastel artist, but translating it to oils where it's layers of color that build up and create the full piece, but you go very slow. I was doing the block out method where all the colors would go on the horse as you would see them kind of in the final version, and then you just kind of blend them. That's harder in a way because trying to blend, especially when you get really contrasty colors, trying to blend those colors together is a little bit more challenging. It has its benefits too, though. If you're very impatient, then it's nice to see the finished piece. I don't like not seeing progress. Pastels sometimes can just drive me nuts because it's such a slow progression of color, and I'm like, I just want to see the thing. So yeah, most of the things that I showed you today, with the exception of the Aura and the Shock and Awe, because they are spoken for, are going to be available at some point when they're complete to purchase. The Loxley included. I had some questions about him. I don't know when, I don't know where, but as they get finished up, I'll probably just be posting them that way. And I have a couple of other colors in my head that I need to try out. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, I like Heather's application because you put kind of thinner, more glazy layers on top, and that allows for the color and the light to really build up in the pieces, which is very cool. So I will definitely be playing with that a little bit more, maybe taking another one of her classes. Who knows? So yeah, that's kind of what's happening in the studio. This month is another Medallion Club month, so I will have those peaks available for you at the end of the month, and along with the sticker, maybe a little bit before then. I try to peek the sticker before, right at the end. Let's see. Abby just traded for Unbreakables. I have 2 of your stuff so far. Oh, that's awesome. I think it's Unbreakable is the Mustang mare and stallion that are running there. So that's awesome. I'm excited to see what you do with them. We have Julie saying he's a handsome boy. Karen saying pretty. Julie saying beautifully done. So, and better late than never. Hi, welcome in. So yeah, I didn't finish my NaMoPaiMo horse. He's obviously not complete, but I'd rather take my time and finish him the way I want to finish him than try and rush him to the end. I've in the past beat myself up a lot over not being able to meet the deadlines of NaMoPaiMo and been one of my own harshest critics. So I'm trying to be a little better about stuff like that. And those internal voices that are usually my parents' nasty voices in my head, not internalize those to the point where I'm now using them against myself, because it's not helpful. So instead of getting upset that I didn't make the deadline, I'm trying to see the positive in all the things that I started with the momentum of NaMoPaiMo and keep that momentum going with keep keeping painting and keeping working on things. There's been a lot of sculpting going on too, so that momentum has been good. It's like ride the wave, right? But yeah, trying to not be so hard on myself. I learned a lot of new things. I started a whole bunch of things, obviously, so it's not like I wasn't productive. And there was other stuff going on in life that kind of gets in the way. But I am quite happy with where he is now. I love a good contrasty bay, so makes me sad that he can't stay here, but that's okay. He will be looking for a home that will love him. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of cool to paint my own stuff too, because I see them in so many colors in my brain. To narrow it down is kind of an interesting experience. But I knew bay. I was like, can't not do bay. What else? So yeah, if you're struggling with the like you pushed to the end and you still didn't make it, or something broke or something went wrong, just know that you're not alone. You're in good company. The NaMoPaiMo group on Facebook stays open all year long. People are in there helping with questions all year long. It's a super supportive group. Jen Buxton did a great job in setting it up and getting that momentum that is now, it is its own entity really in the hobby. And it's one of the best things that we have to offer as the hobby, I think. It's like all the goodness all in one place. So if you didn't quite make it, don't beat yourself up. Try to spin it in your head and see how far you've accomplished, like what you've accomplished, how far you've come with your model, and that you still have forever to finish it. Basically, you could finish it tomorrow. Still kind of count, right? You're still finishing the thing. Eventually, there's stuff. I have Namo horses, this guy included, that were from a couple of years ago. He actually did get a base coat or another washy glaze layer over top. That he just sits there. And every once in a while, I pick him up and I poke at him and then I put him back in the cupboard. He's a NaMoPaiMo horse from a while ago that just hangs out, but he'll eventually get finished, and I make him like every little step is a win. So try not to internalize those voices, because usually those voices come from really not good places. I've been super, super harsh on myself to the point of like making myself sick in the past. So I understand if you're coming from that space too. So it's something that I'm working on in myself, and that hopefully you can too if that's something that you struggle with. Know that you're not alone in it, and you can always post about it, and there's people that'll support you. So I know there's people too. Julie's saying I had a hard time dealing with the pressure, and some people don't even start NaMo because it's just too much pressure of the short month and the deadline, and it's a hard deadline, and then there's prizes at stake sometimes, and that can be extra stressful for people. Or you're seeing other people finish in like the first day, and then it's immediately discouraging. It is a good opportunity to work on yourself through the event, I've found. So that's the comparing to others, the pressure of the event itself, and all the cool stuff you're seeing happen. Sometimes that can be a little discouraging if you intake it in that way. You can also use it as inspiration instead of being discouraged by it. You can be inspired by it. And yeah, it's the mental shift and twist that we can do to make it a positive experience versus a stressful and negative one. I know a lot of us struggle, myself included, with anxiety and depression and all that good stuff. Or not so good stuff, technically. So hopefully I can help through my experiences and the stuff that I say here. I try and to help reframe things, because it's something that I've always struggled with. And being sensitive artists, it's a thing. So yeah, that's doing a thing. Don't do a thing. So yeah, let's see. Amy says, looking good. Glad you didn't push to finish him in a rush. It's worth doing well. And that's kind of another thing too. Sometimes the 1 month is just too short, and it's good as an artist to be able to know when to call a piece done and stop overworking the crap out of it, because I've seen people do that to like the end of time, and then they only ever have this one piece that they're working on and they never finish it, and then they're like, I'm not getting better, I hate this, I can't do it. Sometimes you need to just call them and finish them, and then sometimes you know that just with a little bit of extra love and time you can do it right, and get it where you want it to. So it's learning that over time. That takes experience. But for him, I knew I could push him. I could technically, he has eyeballs. I could call him done, paint the base and paint the foot, and he's pretty well there. And some people do that. They call it and then they tweak it later just to be like, I finished for demo. You can do that. It's kind of sketchy a little bit, but you got to do what you got to do. But him, there's enough stuff on him that I want to play with that I don't want to rush him. And especially if he's going to be a sales piece, I don't want to just be like, ta-da, did the thing. So yeah, Amy's saying you're super productive and dug into more color theory. I would call it a success. I think so. I did a lot of really cool stuff, and my brain is now hyper fixated on the color theory and the painting and the more art specific stuff, which is always good because sometimes you get like total tangents of this is not related to model horses or what I do at all. And then when it hyper fixates on something that's in line with the things I have to do, it's like super speed. It's the best feeling. So that's what's happening right now. So I will take that as a super win for NaMoPaiMo for myself. I have a lot of things going, which is good. I finished none of them, which is not ideal, but that's okay. We're so close on some of them. Sarah says, love that group. Everyone's super helpful. And yeah, like I said, the NaMoPaiMo group's open the whole year and people can ask questions. If you're in the Ravers group, you're more than welcome to post things that you're working on as well. I'm still trying to put like a work in progress Wednesday, or who knows what I'll do. Maybe I'll do it as a work in progress Wednesday. And then if you're working on something, you can post it and people could be helpful. Cheer you on, all that good stuff. Caitlin says, amen, love your positivity. I try. I've had so much negativity in my life forced upon me and otherwise forced upon myself by myself that it's taken a long time to turn it around. So hopefully that helps other people know that you can too if you are constantly beating yourself up. Julie says, love watching the progress every one on there makes, and I do interact with everyone. It's an awesome thing. Like you get a better feeling yourself, even if you go on that page or any page, if you're just on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and type some nice things to people, support them, cheer them along, because the art thing's not easy, not even a little bit. As you learn a lot through NaMoPaiMo, because people are like, I broke an ear, I broke a leg, my horse exploded, like my primer decided to melt. There's just so many different things, and you can see people overcoming adversity, and it is very motivating. It is just like, chef's kiss, right? Kimberly says, I joined and again didn't finish, not due to pressure, but due to personal loss, subsequent loss of motivation. I'll get through it and the ponies will get painted eventually. Kentucky weather. Yeah, sorry about your loss. That can be hard too, because life happens, and you see that as well, where people end up sick or something happens or work just gets really busy and NaMoPaiMo has to sit in the back. So that is a very important thing to take into consideration too. It's a short month, things happen. You can't beat yourself up for that because then you just end up in a puddle crying in the corner. Ask me how I know. We have Caitlin saying, same, wanted to take my time and make her something I'm proud of with my Arabian. Learned so much. That's so cool. Like, and it's not a bad thing. You can gracefully come to the end of NaMoPaiMo and be like, I'm not going to make it, and that's okay. I love it. There's been actually a lot of posts like that too, which is also very reassuring to me as an artist, that, and it's good to see that, because those examples of people overcoming stuff, dealing gracefully with things that could pop up is all very inspirational. So hopefully you are able to take it that way. If you have not perused the NaMoPaiMo stuff, check it out on Facebook. It is NaMoPaiMo, NaPai. Well, it's in the title. Check it out. And lots of stuff. Even on days when I'm feeling really unmotivated, I'll sometimes just do the scrolly thing through there and see all the pieces people are working on. And it's just enough to like punt my brain. There's other people doing stuff. And it's like, it tells my brain, you can do stuff too. Even though this is my job, sometimes that's really hard. There's so much other stuff to do. So anyway, like I was even doing some tests of different things to mix into the paint for whites for opacity, and I picked up a more transparent zinc white in acrylic because I have zinc white in oils, but I didn't have it in acrylic and I wanted to play with that effect a little bit. Most of what's in the Sabino markings on the Loxley's neck is actually zinc weight, which is kind of cool. All have different properties, and something you learn throughout the whole experience of NaMoPaiMo is there's not really a right or wrong. There's just a whole bunch of different ways to get to the same kind of outcome of a finished horse, which is also frustrating if you're the A plus B equals C kind of person, but liberating if you are the like, oh, I don't have to be forced in this box of doing it this way. There, I can be a little bit more creative. So it is quite the thing. My goodness, is it quite the thing. So that was also kind of my rant. But I have to show the cute little dancing horse with the carrot. So we've ranted, and now we've come to the end of the ranting. I did put up some of the Firehorse stickers that were left over. I think there's only two that I had. If there's a whole bunch more people that want them, I might be able to order more from my sticker guy. But as it stands right now, I think there's only 2 of these guys left of the Firehorse. So if you wanted him, make sure you grab him on the website. I am moving the website over hopefully this month sometime. That will mean that the club stuff transitions over to a system that's more like what Briar has for logging in. You can manage your payment stuff, your address stuff that way. I'm going to be sending out an email. I have that all drafted, ready to go out to the club members, that's going to be changing. It's going to be a Shopify website instead of a Wix website. Everything has to move over. And of course, they don't even speak the same freaking coding languages. So I've had to learn a new coding language, which is awesome. But it's going to increase everybody's experience by like 1 million. So hopefully you appreciate that and it works out well. I did try a lot of these features I was trying and was told technically by PayPal it could do for me with the club stuff, and it's just not worked out. So I am moving over to Shopify, paying a little bit more to do that to increase the club experience, which will then allow me to not have to fix stuff and deal with the issues in the back end, which will allow me to produce more content for you guys. I have so much pre-filmed stuff that just needs to be edited and put up. And then what I might end up doing is hosting some workshops, maybe here. Some will probably be club member only, and then other ones will be open to public. So let me know what you want to see from me for that, because I think that could be a lot of fun. I enjoy the Hangouts too, so it's kind of neat to hang out with people and see what you guys want to learn about. And we can go from there. Let me see. Caitlin says, same, wanted to take me down. Oh, we read that one. Your groups are so helpful. Different white methods were so cool. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I like playing with it. And I'm very a visual person. So for me, someone explaining a technique is totally different than seeing what it actually looks like. I want to redo the mediums one. A little bit less ad lib and a little more scientific, because I was just kind of like chatting away and mixing colors, which doesn't mean they're all equal. So I don't think it was a very good test. So I'm going to try and redo that one because I think it's kind of neat. I did just acrylic gesso and then the acrylic gesso mix. And then now I obviously have zinc white to add to the idea. Mixed with water, then mixed with thinner, then mixed with flow improver from Vallejo, then mixed with blending gel, and then I used pouring medium. And actually, using as little as I did of the pouring medium, it's not sticky like Sasha had mentioned. We had some really, really good hangouts. There's a lot of really cool information of different painting techniques and stuff. It came up kind of more naturally with Namo. So very fun. Kayla says workshops. Oh my God. Let me know what you want to see. Maybe I'll pull you guys, or just email me. Be like, I want to see molding, or I want to see this, and we can work on it, because that'd be kind of cool. Amy absolutely nabbed a couple of Firehorse stickers, and I'm so happy. I'm so glad. It's such a cool effect. I might need to do more Firehorses, because that is super cool. And it is the year, so I have the whole year to do it. Yeah, so website's moving over. That will increase that thing. Oh my God, my brain is melted. I need to pick up shavings, and it's like, It's always hard when your animals are hurt. It's very stressful, and then I get very excited, and it's a very bad combination of being pulled in 100 different directions of all the things that I needed to do yesterday that are now deferred to today. Anyway, so the website transfer will make tracking things a little bit easier because it'll all be through Shopify. If you have the Shop app, you can track things on there. It will make stuff easier to purchase. You'll be able to have the cart function back. So once I add multiple things, I have like sticker Mageddon coming for you guys because I went and inventoried everything that I have. I think I mentioned it the last time. So you'll be able to add a whole bunch of things to your cart and check out. The member discounts will be automatic. You won't have to remember a code. You will not have to remember a code to get into the member side of the site. It will know if you are an active member or not. You'll be able to upgrade or downgrade your club without any problems. Any of the coupons and things that I send out, I can now send you coupons in your emails, which is kind of cool. Be like, here's a discount because you're awesome. Or if you win a prize through one of the contests, I can apply that to a like custom coupon, and then you can check out with it automatically. So it should improve a lot. The website's not going to be maybe quite as pretty in some ways, but the functionality will make up for that. So hopefully that's awesome. I hope so. We'll try. It's been a very, very trying like year trying to get all this club stuff sorted in the websites. Oh my god. Katie says tutorial on how to sculpt ears. I am struggling. That is a good one. Can maybe do that. Pam got the base color done, was in it for a while. We'll get back to her. It's your Betty Boops, and she's going to represent my mom. Oh, who so loved her. That's so cool. I would love to see the progress photos. Send me pictures or tag me, and I'll like go find it. Workshops are a great idea. Yeah, so if you guys in the comments at any point when you're watching this video want to let me know what workshops you want to see, I generally like spying on that. I'll probably send out some sort of polling for what you want to see. Lots of people have asked for me to do hair, so that can be something that's really easy. Trying to figure out kind of what'll work, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, that has been the studio updates, the main updates. I'm going to quickly do a hyperfixation, and then I got to go take care of my pony with a hole in his foot. So hang tight. All right, we're back with hyperfixations. So like I said, the hyperfixations are all related to paint and color theory, and it's been like itching my brain hardcore. So I went on a big deep dive of some of the light fastness of different materials. It's always been kind of like I have a lot of, you can see the paint. I have a lot of paint. This is like all oils. This is all acrylics. There's a lot of paint. There's a lot of different mixes in the paint. If you're working with oils, you have different types of oils. There's safflower, there's poppy, there's walnut, there's linseed. Some of those yellow. It just can be very, very daunting for someone who doesn't necessarily know any better, right? You get all these different mediums like a liquid detail. I don't know why it's backwards. Stupid computer. That's okay. Liquid fine detail that they're good in some applications, not good in others. There's a lot of confusing information out there. So it's been a whole thing. And I struggled so hard going through art college. I did 1 year, and there's just so much, and my brain was not absorbent. It was repellent. It's like the beads of water, just beads of knowledge hit my head and bounced off. Just too much for whatever reason. I wasn't interested enough to be able to lock in and dive. So this time I did, and it was super, super fun. So like you're gonna be like, this is not as fun as you think. Heather talked about the color wheel and kind of where colors sit on the color wheel. And when I was doing my deep dive, you can see how to adjust things. I really, really like, if you're in for a color deep dive, Florent Farges on YouTube. Let's stay. It wants to fall over now. I like how he's listed as an internet personality. That is wonderful. All right, I will show him up on the screen. He's got a bit of a different idea as to color theory. So Florent Farges, I'll put this in the chat. He has color theory. Let's see. Tons of videos on color theory, technically. Any of these are really good. If you want something that is really quick, the What Nobody Will Tell You About Color Theory is really good, but this is a whole playlist. So if I click on the whole playlist, this is all color theory. He talks about how to get really lively, vibrant colors, because they'll sometimes get really muddy. So if you're struggling with this concept, his content is awesome. Any of it's really good. So you can see the difference that he shows in some of these. I'll make this bigger, where you have that vibrance to it. So if you're mixing white into your paint, the white will take away that vibrance. So there's more than just light and dark, warm and cool. There's chroma too. So you're playing with all these different variables basically, and it can get really intimidating, but it can also be really cool because you get these colors, and so if you're adding in the opposite color, you're making it more neutral. You're neutralizing that chroma and you're taking it away. So your yellow mixed with your purple will bring it more to the center and it won't be as vibrant. But if you go and mix it with something that's warmer, you can do warmer, and then that will change some of the properties of it as well. So you can change to warm and cool, and keep that vibrance, and then bring it down with the opposite color, or you can add a little bit of white just to neutralize it a little bit, make it a little more creamy. There's just so many different variables to things, and it's very cool. So there's some really cool resources he has. He has a whole course on it. He talks about how technically your red is not neutralized by the color you would normally be told that it is. So if you look right across from red, you're getting into like cyans almost, are more equivalent to neutralize without changing where you're going for warm or cold. Very cool stuff. I recommend these. This shows kind of where all the different pigments lie in this color wheel, and then if they're more neutral, if they're more vibrant. The stuff on the outside is very vibrant. As you get closer to the middle, it is more neutralized and more like gray, basically. And then you can see kind of some just sit a little less vibrant, a lot less vibrant, that kind of thing. Super handy to have around. Then there's the opacity and the transparency of different pigments, how those work for glazes. I can't obviously cover all of that while we're talking here, but he does some videos on glazes as well, which are really good. There's a whole bunch of artists that play with that idea. I tend to lean more towards like walnut alkyd. That allows me to control the drying time of my oils versus having an alkyd paint. So if you're painting with the alkyd paints and you have no problems with them, they're not drying too fast, then that's a great fit for you. I am learning that I want to play a little bit more, and then I end up with those hot spots where the paint starts kind of separating and congealing a little bit, and you get like a spot where the paint isn't and then stuff around it. You can mix all sorts of stuff in with your paints. It is a wild experience, and it definitely can be a lot for your brain. So I recommend looking into like one thing here and there, or asking for recommendations of what people are using. Liquid Fine Detail is what I've been playing with for doing some of the more fine brush strokes, but the Walnut Alkyd works really well too. So I'll let you know between the two of those what I kind of like. Liquid also is a alkyd base, so it speeds up your drying as well, and that limits some of the things that you can do with your paints. But it's a thing. And I do still like my oleo gel in the tube because it's like colorless paint. So it's kind of nice. Doesn't make everything so thin. there's a lot to it. And my brain obviously dived a lot deeper than most people will ever have any interest in diving. But hopefully that means I can glean some things from it, and then I'll be able to share that more with you guys as time goes on. I don't want to extend this stream out by a whole bunch because we're already over an hour. So I will try and cover some of that stuff in other videos, comparing some of the mediums, how they affect transparency and things like that. I had in one of the art hangouts, Marty had asked about how glazes kind of work, and I just printed this off the internet. It's a coloring book cover, but these grayscale drawings are really good for demonstrating that kind of idea. You can have opacity, and there's nothing showing through that opaque paint. Normally there would be all the black details, but if you have a transparent paint and you apply it like a glaze with some medium in there, then you end up with seeing all those values, the lights and the darks underneath. So you imagine if you already had all your shading, you could go in and tint something really easily with a glaze. So I know all these terms flying around with NaMoPaiMo can be super confusing. Glazes, washes, varnishes, like whether you're doing hair by hair, all the different mediums, all the different kinds of oils. Even with your acrylics, you're ending up with like blending gel and thinner and airbrush medium. Like, where do you even start? There's so many things. I happen to own a lot of the many things, so I can show you some of those things. So hopefully if that interests you guys, I'll be doing a couple of those in the near future here as well. It'll help unmuddy the waters, hopefully, for some people. And then we can play with things. Like, I didn't realize that Purple Lake and Alizarin Crimson are more of a dye-based pigment, or dye-based color, not a pigment-based color. So you end up with less light fastness, which means the paint can change color over time and fade. And they react differently to things like alkyds, which I found out really quickly with my Juggernaut. It's like, oh my god, the paint's doing a weird thing. Why is it doing the weird thing? And some paints don't like some stuff. Keep in mind, all we're doing is mixing a whole bunch of random chemically type things together with a whole bunch of ground up rock and hoping that it all works out, and then spraying it with more chemicals, which it was all applied on top of chemicals. And the resin and horse itself, whether it's cellulose acetate briar or whatever, is also another kind of chemical. So we are mad scientists, and it is madly fascinating. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, then let me know for specifics if you have any specific questions. And then maybe I'll touch on it and help answer your questions, because we did some really good stuff in the Hangouts for that. So all right, on that note, I have probably confused you more than you were confused before, because we don't have time to get into all the craziness. But no, it is a wild world. Check out Flora Farge's pages. Like the video if you get to this point. I always appreciate that. It helps other people see that we do these lives on Sundays. And send your wishes for Turbo's foot getting better. And then I will see you guys soon. Next time, don't feed the trolls. Love ya. Bye-bye.